Hola, les doy la bienvenida a Canalización de Armonía. Hey everyone, my name is Luz and I'm going to be channeling some messages through tarot, through piles I already pre-shuffled, and I'll be pairing them with crystals so you can choose. I was outside meditating, connecting with nature, and I was wondering to myself, I received these messages right after my breath work of how can I know I'm receiving these messages from spirit, from my ancestra? You know, how can I see her hair? Am I able to see her face sometime? And I think I might have through dreams. But when I asked that, my answer was, you can hear me in the wind, and the wind blew. There was a gush of wind that blew right in the moment when I was wondering about that. And I'm like, okay, spirit, is this a message for me to like share out there? And my answer was yes, that there's a message of reassuring the collective that they are in fact receiving these messages, and that might feel like only like thoughts, you know, but it is actually your spirit team, your ancestors, archangels, spirit animals, galactic families, multidimensional families, stellar families, whichever you connect to, higher light benevolent deities, anything that you work with or anyone that you work with. And yeah, I wanted to make a reading of picking a pile for each way the spirit might be communicating with y'all from experience and from these downloads that I got out there. So let's show you your piles right here in front of the lens. I'll be showing you a greater angle now of the cards so it can be clearer and it can be taken in more. Alright, setting intention for protection for only highest frequency beings, deities, ancestors, spirit animals, multidimensional and galactic energies to come through. Smudging the field here, and let's start. So pile number 1, your object is this sodolitr necklace. Pile number 2, yellow calcite. Pile number 3, black tourmaline pendant, black tourmaline point. I'll see your selected groups, which I'll be listing on the description box with timelines for each, okay? Hi, pile number 1, if you chose the sodolitr neck choker, here, this is your pile. And you got this cards. Okay, you got trust your innocence, Knight of Swords, and Justice. First, about what I feel is that your spirit guides communicate with you when you're tapping into your inner child energy, your creative energy, creative flow, when you're more in your feminine and you're, you know, in this energy of fluidity with everything and everyone around you. You're not thinking of superficial matters of how you look. You're not self-judging. nor judging others, how they're acting towards you, none of that. And you're simply being, you're very present, and that's when your spirit guides communicate with you, when you're having fun, genuinely. Also substance free. They want to say that to you, when you're substance free and nothing, influencing this state. Here with the Justice card, I want to say that you're bringing justice to your inner child. You're trusting more on your passions of how they awaken your inner child, how they nourish your inner child, and they really make co-create with the divine, a safe space for your divine child to thrive, always protected by your divine inner warrior that wants to bring justice. And this could be about anything that happened to you when you were younger. This could be anything that happened to you when you were enjoying yourself, when you were having a great time, doesn't matter the age, and then spam, somebody try to shame you about it or punish you for it. And then bringing justice and really recuperating that sense of your heart's essence and being able to enjoy it without guilt. That's when they communicate with you, okay? For a lot of you is when you play with your children. For a lot of you, it's when you sing, when you dance, in the kitchen, or when you're just making music, tapping the table, I don't know, when you're telling jokes to your friends, or talking about your experiences, your adventures with your trusted ones, with your loved ones, and you're really having fun, narrating these stories and experiences. I feel like that's really when spirit tries to communicate with you. And maybe also when you are in a situation in which you are rather feeling impulsive because you're really excited about something, because we have the Knight of Swords, and you're really excited about this, but you know that there's this energy of wanting to launch forward for something because you're really all in for it, but you feel like you still need a little bit of extra caution before jumping in and regaining that balance, when you go for it. But I want to read to you the Trust Your Innocence card, okay? Truth, trusting yourself, being real with people, knowing the difference between intuition and paranoia, uncensored feelings, returning to innocence. Interesting. It can be hard to decipher between intuition and what our mind is telling us. Stories, projections, expectations, or fear can arise under the guise of intuition. To distinguish truthful inner guidance from paranoia, we must return to innocence, to our purest essence. Here we have access to the truth of our being. We're the very first feelings or visions you had when you considered the question at hand. What were the first feelings or visions you had when you considered the question at hand, before you second guess yourself? So this is it. Before you second guess yourself, what was the feeling? Did you feel like you needed to seek for other options? That's the main primordial feeling. Primordial? Is that how you say it? That's the main feeling that spirit is bringing through. That's when you are more susceptible to receiving these messages from spirit, and really like lounging for that first thing, but at the same time seeking this balance, balance, because the Justice card, and also like not going faster than needed, than require. Okay, maybe just slowing down to sit and really listen to spirit. This is how they communicate with you and when they communicate with you. And because you chose sodolite, you might be interested in this crystal. Actually, this is for the throat chakra, and I believe the crown as well. I'm not sure if it was the crown and third eye, but mainly for the throat. And because it's blue, color of the throat chakra as well. You may be interested in just looking for blue crystals for now, because these are the expression and the truth and discernment, and bringing a sense of justice to whatever situation. And that's when they communicate with you, when you genuinely through intuition, but also like really learning to pace yourself in a balanced way, that you are in the correct path. I feel maybe you are someone that like has so much stuck in their throat chakra, like that they haven't expressed because they're afraid of being judged or shamed or ridiculed, humiliated, and stuff like that. And I feel like spirit communicates with you when you dare to make that jump. Okay, when you dare to speak swords communication as well. We have like the intellectual energy of your inner child really working with each other, being friends, right? And speaking and enjoying yourself, and speaking about things you love, speaking about the birds if you'd like, and not being afraid of being called childish, for example. This is your justice in this lifetime. That's when spirit is mostly connected to you and your ancestors or cosmic team, archangels, etc. That's what's coming through, okay? So thanks for watching group number 1, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Okay. Hi, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the calcite, nice piece of calcite right here, all of its beautiful rawness. There's something about rawness, okay? For your group number 2, spirit communicates with you a lot when you're totally being empowered by the rawness of your being. This is solar plexus chakra that's coming through, and like solar plexus really empowers itself with self-confidence, transmuting old paradigms of shame, alright, and willpower, maybe like transmuting procrastination and bringing in willpower. You got the card of freedom. You got the card of freedom, okay? This is so exciting because you're really transmuting something from the past, that somebody or a situation may you believe that you will never get up from. That's when spirit communicates with you, okay? When you really free yourself from past chains of past chains of believing that you weren't enough, that you would never heal from that situation or condition that you had, the conditioning that you had for yourself, okay? What else is coming through? I feel like where's Mars? Yeah. Okay, you don't need to have these shields up anymore. That's what spirit is saying. You don't need to have all of these shields because you're heartbroken. Spirit communicates with you when you let your shield down. you have all the resources to defend yourself, emotional and mental, okay? You have all those resources to overcome anything, and you don't really need to worry about going through this again. That's what they're saying. Spirit communicates with you when you consider what freedom really means to you. Does it mean, being able to take action into your plans, take action into really letting yourself love again, perhaps take action into really putting this into use, into the planning that you've been wanting to. Is that really freedom to you, or is freedom actually something that you need to feel outside of yourself? Perhaps, like the state of that you live in, the state that you live in, the job that you're at, or the house that you're at. I want to read to you a little bit of the freedom card. Freedom 25. Yeah, because Spirit is saying, like, you're actually always, like, feeling a little bit like this isn't real if it's too great, it's too good to be truth. You're always like suspicious of things because you were really hurt, and this could be about letting yourself, lead something. I feel like there's a sense of leadership because solar plexus crystal that you chose, of really being like so self-confident, having that self-esteem to actually free yourself from anything that was holding you back, from putting up shields of armor so that you would not feel the pain of rejection, really, here. You're always having your bow and arrow ready to when these people betray you, or when you fail at something that you really, really wanted to expose to the world, etc. Blah blah blah. Let's read freedom. Living the life you love. Liberation as a shift in perspective. The many facets of freedom. Inviting enjoyment and inspiration to your life. Discovering what freedom means to you. Overcoming limitation. Unbound creative expression. Choice over obligation. Bring a deeper sense of freedom to a situation. A limitation may be a state of mind. A shift of perspective can bring a sense of lightness and choice. Also consider what freedom looks like to you in the bigger picture of your life. If you're feeling stifled in an environment, it is up to you to make a change. Add pleasurable moments or practices that cultivate a sense of greater freedom in your day-to-day life. If you're currently experiencing greater freedom, you might be feeling unsettled. Consider whether it's the kind you were looking for. If you feel ungrounded and lost, perhaps you could add some structure to your world to optimize your freedom. And solar plexus is really like divine masculine energy, okay? Here you might want to look into like yellow crystals, citrine, calcites, sunstone, etc. Because divine masculine energy really puts that structure that this card was saying, and you really gain structure and discipline to your divine feminine desires. Divine masculine is helping your divine feminine, and maybe balancing these two, because I feel like there's like this is like your divine masculine trying to protect and overprotect your divine feminine, and perhaps not even letting your divine feminine love, not letting herself enjoy certain things, because she'd rather not go through heartbreak, so she'd rather just avoid all experiences. And I think Spirit communicates to you and through you when you actually feel free, in the sense of like you're letting yourself talk, you're letting yourself propose ideas at your job, or you're letting yourself come up with a new kind of invention in your project that perhaps you've seen before, you've like gotten inspired from, like the freedom card was saying, but you add your own flavor, tu sazón. You add your own flavor to these ways of doing this kind of service, perhaps. And that's freedom to you. That's freedom when you can really express yourself like that and guide others through it, and guide other people, and also inspire other people to feel free as well. That's when they communicate through you. I feel this might be a lot about when you either express or you either bring this plan into consideration. Perhaps you're like an architect. A lot of you are planning to, maybe, and you bring your plans and ideas and your drawings and architecture plans to someone that wants to build a home or a center, or some sort of center. That's the energy that's coming through. What else, Spirit? Yeah, like you probably need to show a little bit more flexibility. Just because I got this masculine, sacred masculine energy, I would say, like, to balance your masculine, be a little bit more flexible with yourself, even like compassionate with yourself and also with others that you are interacting with or working with, and giving some grace to like opening yourself up to relationships. Maybe Spirit communicates through you also when you open yourself to be more in community. That's what it is, okay? When you let the shields down of shame and do not become an enemy of yourself by depriving yourself from community and from receiving, from others, perhaps receiving help, or receiving, literally, like letting yourself fall in love with a special romantic partner, or letting yourself simply get involved in more circles, make new friends, etc. Because I want to read some more of the freedom card here. Okay, maybe you can get some downloads yourself, because you are free. I'm just here as a channel, and you're free to channel yourself. We're all able to channel, okay? That's what Spirit wants you to know. And maybe you are someone that wants to channel too. Maybe some of you are interested in tarot or in reading, oracles like these, etc. By the way, all the decks are listed in my description box at the very end, if you yourself want to read for yourself and get these decks, Okay, I wanted to read. We might move through periods of life in a day's blur of routine. What seemed like the dream career or lifestyle may have become somewhat of a prison. We might feel stuck, blocked, or uninspired. We might know deep down that it is time to step into something different, but feel tied to what we have set up for ourselves, perhaps financially or because others depend on us. It might feel like something needs to change externally before you can make the step, but it doesn't usually work that way. As scary as it may seem, to get off a self-perpetuating spiral, we need to initiate our own change. Small changes done impinge on your work or family can be enough to tell the universe you are ready for something else. Think about where you might find inspiration, then begin researching and try it out. Try a few new things. This will help shift the direction of your inner being. Before you know it, opportunities will start to open for you. It will then be your choice to follow a new path or to continue as you are. I think Spirit communicates with you, and your ancestors want to communicate with you when you make changes, when you make the choice to want to make a change, even if not started yet. And that's when Spirit communicates with you, when you dare to try new things, even with the fear of failure, even with the fear of being broken again. That's when they communicate. When you make these big transitions in life, this like big tower or death card on the tarot moments, that's when they communicate with you. And it might feel really hard, but that's when you most need guidance, and they know it, and they communicate with you right there and then. And they're telling you, like, you don't have to always be in war, you can be free of that. All right, group number 2. Ooh, take care. That's all that's coming through. See you in the next reading. Bye. group number 3. You chose this tourmaline pendant. This is your reading. And so you got the unique gifts card. Ay, pues que les digo? Like, what else can I say? This is pretty self-explanatory. Your cosmic team, spirit guides, ancestors, archangels, and benevolent light deities communicate with you when you are sharing your gifts, okay? When you're either someone that teaches, that because you got the 10 Pentacles. This is a really good card, like teaching your loved ones. Perhaps you're a parent and that automatically makes you a for life teacher, right? Not for life, but you know what I mean. You become even a teacher for your own self when you parent, and that's beautiful, okay? And that's very potent. That's very potent. It has a great potency and opportunity for spirit to communicate with you. I want to read to you a little bit of unique gifts. You know what? Is this the card? Oh yeah. Your superpowers, a sense of purpose, the meaning behind your quirks, exploring your interests, shortcomings as unique, undiscovered skills. What makes you unique? Any quirks that you feel that are shortcomings could be the key to your superpowers. Look for the positive sides of your abilities and traits. How would you like to spend more time? Are there things you would like to try or feel a pull to explore? Now is the time to follow these whispers. You never know how transformational they might be. Yeah, I think spirit communicates with you really when you feel like anything, any hobbies that you feel like, I don't know, maybe you like making art, making art with, what is the example that they're bringing through? There's some very crafty image in my mind right now. The vision looks like something that a child would play with, like mud, like clay. Maybe that's it, clay. That's what's coming through. Maybe you make something with clay, or maybe you build stuff. Maybe you make toys for children or something like that. And those are your unique gifts, bringing joy to the children, bringing a happy childhood that is the stem and the root of their healthy emotional health and mental health. You name it. Your spiritual gifts, of course. It could also be channeling for others. It could also be selling your music, your expressing like healing modalities, like, I don't know, like energy healing, all of that. Because you chose the tourmaline, you can clear energy from people, okay? Group number 3, you're that group that you even unconsciously, you sometimes have taken negative energy from others and it was not fun. And that's when spirit communicates with you. Your spirit team is trying to, and has tried in the past, to tell you how to transmute all of that, because the black tourmaline transmutes any energy, okay? Any goo, any fear, any like self-sabotaging energy that you yourself put on yourself, or any jealousy, any exterior envy against you or from you, towards others. It could be either or, it really gives you that sense of like everything can be put upside down, as above so below. It can be transmuted and transformed. And you also got the 9 of Wands. So anything that you're right now feeling like you might not be able to come through, or that you're launching something and it's failing, it's gonna turn upside down. That's what Spirit is saying, that they want to tap into you when you just keep going. When you keep going and you keep going and you put boundaries to things that you've already seen, like, okay, this didn't work last time, and my whole thing, or I'm failing this class, this didn't work last time, I'm going to study in a different way. Or I'm not going to study in groups. I'm not going to do study groups. I'm going to do individual studying. And there's something about boundaries as well, of like learning to put a stop to something, so it doesn't really affect what you're setting up and you've been working too hard to, maybe perhaps leaving the legacy literally. But your unique gifts, when you like tap into, I don't know, meditation or yoga or anything that you want to do as a service, that's where you tap into your purpose, and Spirit communicates with you and they support you. And they're like, even if you're not feeling like anyone, I don't know, like you feel perhaps that, oh, I don't think anyone cares about this. That's when Spirit wants you to say, like, keep going, because you're such a resilient fiery energy, and you have so much fire in your heart to keep going, and that's why it's giving you results, right? That's why you're never out of material abundance or health abundance. That's why you keep yourself balanced and spiritually balanced. And Spirit and your cosmic team and your archangels, they talk to you. And nature, I want to say, because like I have this vision right now of like you literally going to the trees, and like if you have never seen an ancestor or you're not a visual person, maybe you perhaps hear them. And that's one of your unique gifts. You receive the light code. Some of you, like, you are meant to speak light language. We all can speak light language in different forms. And you're one of those people. Look, because the light codes, perhaps in nature is when it's easier to tap into those messages, right? Into those downloads, and when you can speak light language. And Spirit communicates with you through the wind. That's when they're saying, like, listen. When the wind is blowing through your face, you got like a hard, fast gush of wind, or a nice breeze when you most needed it because it's super hot or something like that. That's an example that they're bringing. They speak through you and to you through the elements. And they're saying, yes, what you were thinking right now, it has a meaning. Think about it again. And even if it was something negative, they're saying, like, just go ponder and go deeper into it. Like, have this persistence even though you feel fatigued, maybe have this sense of resilience, because that's when they're telling you, okay, I know you were thinking about these negative things, but trust me, they have a point. They're gonna take you somewhere. They have a meaning, which is gonna lead you back again in a circling to your purpose. And that's how it gets transmuted. Oh, look, it's a circle to copper circle. Yeah, like this is specifically a pendant that is a circle, and then it goes spiraling around the tourmaline point. So there's something about that too, that you circle. Maybe you are anxious about something, you think too much about things, but they spiral down and they get grounded and they get transformed and they take you back to your unique gifts. Okay, I want to read a little bit more. When there is enjoyment in what you do, you can give more to it, way beyond your usual capacity. It lights you up when you think or talk about it, and you need less in your life as you are fulfilled through doing it. When you don't do it, you might feel ungrounded or low energy. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Spirit is trying to lift you up when you feel this fatigue here from the 9 of Wands. In nature, like it literally recharges you being at the ocean or the river or the lake, or taking a walk and just listening to the wind. Like I said, they speak to you through the wind. There's something about you also, like, feeling really fulfilled when you listen to spirit telling you and encouraging you to use your unique gifts. Yeah, there's something about that as well. And this might be like a moment where you feel like pressured, maybe financially, and you feel tired and you feel like ready to give up. But they're saying like, oh, so much abundance is coming to you and you're gonna feel rich. And it might not be literal, like money, material rich, but you might feel so content. Maybe you're starting a family, maybe you're adopting a new pet, maybe you're moving to like a home that you've always wished for, you know, you're setting roots, maybe you're starting this new thing, this new project, and it's all due to listening to spirit, to manifest with your unique gifts, to really listen to the wind, to really enjoy the sun on your face, you know, all with precaution and balance, of course. To really like voice, like just voice sound because you feel like it, because light codes can also be voiced, you know. That's the main way that people, the channelers do it. They speak it, they speak these tones and light language, and that might be a gift. You might be like a sound healing therapist, sound healer, you know, with singing bowls and stuff. But that's when spirit and your archangels and your cosmic team communicate with you. Okay, group number 3. And when you most need it, when you most need to transmute all of that goo and that self-doubt and all of that like feeling of lethargy, of like ready to just crash, you know, to just drop the ball. That's when they bring so much resilience and you start seeing the changes, you start seeing the results. Okay, when you really think about your uniqueness as a person and what you can bring specifically, even though there's a lot of people who do these things that I mentioned, there's something really unique about you and how you're able to be that channel and anchor, you know, from the divine energy, from the most divine energy, to serve others as well, but mainly to serve yourself, to serve your heart's essence, right? And you being able to be this way of translation of things that are hard to be understood, and you're like able to translate them. Maybe you're like literally a language translators here in this group as well, and that's a unique gift. Okay, don't ever doubt it. Just because it seems simple doesn't mean that's not a unique gift, and you're in a way a healer, you know, breaking barriers, from language barriers for people, you know, to understand each other. So that's just so beautiful, you know, for them to be able to connect with things and projects that they want to do and to talk to each other. Like, come on. That's great. All right, yeah, consider any interests and skills that you have. Maybe you're really good cook, maybe you're really good playing the saxophone, I don't know. That might be something that is involved with your purpose. And when you really listen to that and you feel like you're struggling and like you're not gonna make money out of being a musician, for example, then you find out like, wow, like I just needed to put myself more out there, and now people are calling me, you know, to, I don't know, to teach music to the children, and that's bringing me the abundance that I needed. And that's what unique gifts bring, those downloads from spirit. That's how they communicate through you. Okay, that's all that's coming through group number 3. I hope that you can enjoy yourself, and I'll see you on the next reading. Bye.